Namaste and welcome to Yoga for Amputees, Yoga with a Crow Boot. So for many amputees, they not only have the limb loss, they also might be wearing a crow boot, either from diabetes, from Charcot-Marie-Tooth syndrome, or an accident. And it could be something that you wear for the rest of your life. So we want to accommodate both in this practice. This is a vigorous practice. It's meant to both challenge you and strengthen you, but at the same time help with the healing process. And hello, namaste, and welcome to Yoga for Amputees, Yoga with a Crow Boot. So for some of us, we're not only living with a prosthetic leg or prosthetic arm, we're also living with a crow boot. And so we want to be able to find ways to practice yoga and make it accessible for us as well. The crow boot can be heavy and the prosthesis can be a little nerve-wracking in terms of balance if we're trying to work with both, but there are possibilities for all. And so in this practice, we're going to be exploring some challenging poses, some balance poses, some ways to accommodate what you already have and to build strength and flexibility along the way. Of course, it's really important that no matter what, exercise is key. So even if you have a crow boot and the prosthesis, this is really, really vital for your health and well-being to keep moving your body. And with yoga, what's great about yoga is it also helps to elevate our mood, to help us to dig deep into some of the layers of change that we might be going through because of our limb loss or our crow boot or both, right? So the yoga goes deeper than just physical fitness. It does that by way of meditation, relaxation, mudra, which are hand gestures, mantra, which is chanting, and breathing. So first you want to find a position that's comfortable for you. It could be that you bend your knee and place your knee on top of a yoga block, like so, a folded blanket, or a pillow. Okay? You do want to have some kind of strap available, preferably a yoga strap, and definitely invest in some yoga blocks. These are nice, firm yoga blocks, but they're soft to the touch. You also want to have a chair nearby and a wall to support you if you're feeling wobbly. It also gives you incredible feedback and can be more challenging sometimes to use the chair or the wall. Let's get started. I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes and get in touch with you. What's happening for you with your mind? Where is your mind at? What's happening with your body? What about your feelings, your emotional state? Those are all relevant, and they all can change during your yoga practice. So begin with something called pranayama. Pranayama is breathing. What we're going to do is a big belly breath, and we're going to imagine that belly filling up and then emptying. Almost like a bellows or a baby, like a frog. If you ever see a frog, belly go in and out, well, I guess that would be their throat, right? Sort of like that. Breathing in and breathing out, but it's at your belly. So we're going to breathe in, the belly goes out, and breathe out, the belly goes in. So that can take some practice. Breathe in, and breathe out. And continue. One more time. Great. So one of the things about working with the crow boot in yoga practice is that the knees can get very tender due to the weight, the extra weight that you're carrying around. So we're going to start by strengthening the quads. So I'm going to have you come and lie on your side, doesn't matter which side, and bring one leg on top of the other. You're resting your ear on top of your upper arm. And you'll notice that my legs are kind of at a diagonal here. And all I'm going to do is open up to create a little butterfly shape or a diamond. Inhale and exhale, release. I'm going to do that 3 times on this side. Keep breathing. Good. And I'm going to press up and come over to the other side and do it again. So again, the ear is resting on the upper arm, the knees are parallel and more of a diagonal, and we're going to open up, inhale, exhale, close, open up, exhale, last time, open up, and exhale. Wonderful. Take a breath in as you come back to a seated position. And this is where you're going to need your strap. You're going to take a strap and place it around the left foot. Okay, so if you're not working with your prosthesis today, you're going to place it around your limb. Preferably, if you're below knee, you're going to put it at the residual limb, but not right on the scar, a little bit above. Okay, not at the knee. And if you're above knee, if you can, bring it right up into the the thigh. You can also use your hands, but you might need that for balance. I'm going to take the strap around whatever you've got, and I'm going to encourage you to lean back into your wall and lift up and lower down. We'll do that 3 times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. The leg can be bent. Inhale up and exhale down. And then you're going to switch sides. You're going to place the strap around the other foot. So say this is, I'm going to pretend my prosthetic foot is the crow boot for this practice. And I'm going to inhale up. And notice I have both hands here. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And last time, inhale up. And exhale down. Great. Now I'm going to stay at the wall here and use that as support. And may mean that I'm going to bend my knees or even put a folded blanket, elevating my knees right underneath my knees like so. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to inhale up and round my lower back, my mid back, my upper back, and come forward. And I'm going to stay here for 3 breaths. This is our seated forward bend. And you may feel some very strong sensations, but you don't want to feel as any pain. And inhale, roll all the way up. And exhale. Great. Shake it out a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of standing poses. So again, this is if you're able to stand. This practice is if you're able to stand. If this is not something that you can do today, we have other chair yoga practices on our Yoga for Amputees on Demand website. Okay? So let's get going. Do a series of poses standing. The first one we're going to do is mountain pose. Now, it could be the case that you need the chair or the wall to lean on. I'm going to just bring the chair a little closer so you can see how I have that as an option. I can either stand behind it, the back of the chair like so, or have the side of the chair nearby. I also have a wall here that I can lean into. I'm going to be showing you the kind of hands-free version, but feel free to use any support that you need just to know that it's there. Sometimes we start and we lean into one side of the body and you begin to get wobbly. So our mountain pose, we're thinking about reaching down through both legs. Okay, and that's really important because, as you know, we compensate a lot as leg amputees and arm amputees. We want to make sure that we're right in the center, and what that means is that both hips are parallel. That could involve bending one knee or maybe both. What we want to avoid is coming way forward. This can happen. If this is happening, a little more bend in the knee, lean into a wall or a chair. Okay? If this is happening, back bending, drop forward a little bit by softly bending one knee, get back to balance and drop the tail. There's almost a little bit of a tuck. Okay? A lot of amputees have a tendency to go into sway back. It's important that we nip that in the bud as much as possible. And breathe in and out. We're going to reach up. Inhale. And exhale. Release. From here we're going into standing forward bend. And I'm going to encourage you to have your chair to use, either standing behind the back seat of the chair or the front seat of the chair. I'm going to show you from the front seat of the chair. What I'm going to do is softly bend my knees and come forward and bring my hands to the chair. And then walk back a little bit. Find the length of my spine. And then begin to fold down. I'm going to bring my elbows to the chair and let the spine lengthen. Okay? You could have your yoga block or a pillow or a blanket and put it right underneath the forehead for extra support. You don't want to have your head looking up like this. You want your chin more parallel. Okay, so this is a really nice option, and it's really good for people who are wearing pro boots. You can also come a little further. You could even grab the legs of the chair, like so. Bring your fingers to the floor, or your hands to blocks. I'll show you with both blocks, like so. Okay. And the blocks have different heights. You're going to do what works for you. And to come out of it, we softly bend the knees. And again, you may need to hold on to something, tuck under, and inhale, come all the way up. And shake it out. Okay? And from here, we're going to go into plank and lunge. So these are both really helpful in terms of hip strength, leg strength, hip opening. So plank pose, one option is to bring your hands to your wall and walk back a little bit. I'll show you here. Bring your hands to a wall, tuck under, and be right here, creating one long line. All right, so this is helping to build strength in the body without putting too much pressure. If you're feeling like it's putting too much pressure on your legs, another way actually might bring you less pressure but greater strength is to come onto your hands and your feet and press your feet into a wall. You can also bend the knees and bring the knees down without changing the position, I'll show you, of your upper body, like so. Okay, there can be a tendency within a plank pose to want to drop down like so. You want to keep that lifted up. All right, so do whatever version of plank you feel comfortable doing. You may want to have your crow boot on top of your prosthetic leg. That's a lot of work. So by all means, come down to the knees if you need to. And inhale, exhale, release. Reach back. And then come forward into a table position with very wide hands. Okay? We're going to be going into a lunge. Now, as an amputee with a crow boot, it can be really challenging to do this by lifting your leg forward or even wrapping your foot around like so. Okay? So I recommend rocking forward and coming into downward facing dog and then stepping one foot forward like so. And you might have to lift it up and place it down and then bending the back leg into your lunge. I'm going to encourage you to put yoga blocks underneath your hands and just rock forward and back a little bit. Now to come out of this, lots of ways. You can walk your yoga blocks back, try to lift your foot forward, but if that's not possible for you, you can lift your body up and step back into your downward dog. Okay, you can also hold onto your chair, like so, lift up and step forward and try your lunge another way. So here's another way. If you're coming into standing bend, like so, you can step the other foot back into your lunge, bring your hands down to blocks or the floor, and then gently bring the knee down. Now if you're feeling a discomfort in your knee, this is where you want to have a blanket of some kind underneath the knee to support your knee. Okay? And again, we're rocking back and forth. Great. Now from here, this time I'm going to lean over. I'm going to put my lower blocks down, lean over to my opposite side, and bring my leg back into table pose. All right. Rock forward into downward dog and see if I can walk my feet to my hands or walk my hands to my feet. Okay, if you walk your feet to your hands, it's always nice to have the chair nearby. And then come all the way up to standing. And we're going to try a little walking balance. This is where we're going to use our chair. We're going to come into walking balance, warrior one, like so. I'm going to take my chair and pivot it around so the back of the chair is facing me. And I'm going to show you sideways. What we're going to be doing, I'm going to hold onto the wall just to make sure. Walk forward and back. Walk forward and back. Now this may seem a little far. You can come a little closer. Walk forward, hold onto the chair, and come back. Walk forward and come back. Take your time. We all have our own rhythm to do this. But eventually we want to step the right foot forward and bend the knee. We're in a shorter version of a warrior one. We just want to get this so we can see where we are in terms of balance. Now the hands are on the chair to support you, and you may think about stepping back a little farther, bending the front knee a little more. You don't want to bring that knee over your ankle. You want it right at the ankle here. The back knee can bend a little bit, or you could even have your chair and bring your back foot to your wall. That's going to stabilize your back body quite a bit more. All right, so from here you may try lifting one hand or the other and then try to reach the arms up. All good. And release. Let's try that on the other side. So we're going to step the left foot forward and back. Right foot forward, back. You can try without your hands. And again, use the wall if you need to. And this time, left foot comes forward in our warrior one. Now your back foot. So you have a crow boot, and then you have your prosthetic foot, depending. So if you're feeling like you're way forward in your body here because of your prosthetic foot or your crow boot, definitely turn your chair and bring your heel to the wall, whether it's the crow boot heel or the prosthetic heel. Okay? Press down, soft bend in the knees, drop your tail, lift your chest. Try lifting one arm up, spread your fingers, find a focal point. Maybe both lift up. and breathe and relax. Tuck under and step forward and shake it out. If you're getting tired, take a moment to sit down in your chair. This is a lot of standing, but I do know many amputees are walking around with their boots and their prosthetics, so we want to build that strength over time. We're going to go into 2 more standing poses. One is a squat, and the next is our standing forward bend again. So I'm going to hold onto the chair as an option. The feet come parallel, and I'm going to just bend the knees, okay? This is as far as I want to go for first round and see how I do. It could be, again, that you're here with your hands against your chair, bending your knees, exhale. Now you notice that I'm not sticking my butt out, I'm not going like this, pressing forward, it's straight down. So depending on what's going on with your prosthetics and your crow boot, you'll probably go somewhat of a distance, but not too deep, right? Really depends on the knee, etc. What you don't want to do is put too much pressure on the foot with the crow boot. But you definitely don't want to imbalance either. So this is why you just keep checking in. How far down do you want to go? And then come back, bring your feet together in mountain. I'm going to encourage you to try one more time. Bend the knees. Sink down. Now you can reach the arms up overhead, or maybe you're going to try one arm. If you feel strain in your knees, come up a little higher. Inhale, exhale, release. Bring the feet together, standing forward bend, like taking a bow. I'm going to keep my hand right here in my chair to show you how this is also an option, coming into standing forward bend. Soft bend in the knees and tuck under, inhale. Come all the way back up. We're going to come to the floor and we're going to try a couple of more poses on the floor. You want to have your yoga block or a pillow or a folded blanket nearby. I'm going to show you with a yoga block and a folded blanket and the wall how to do these poses. This next pose is bridge pose. All right, so with bridge pose, you're lying on your back, okay, and the knees are bent with the feet flat on the floor. So already there's some things that might come up around this. We're going to start by doing a tuck and release of our tail. If you need extra support, I'm going to show you how you can bring your feet right to your wall, like so. And if you're having your prosthesis and it doesn't have an ankle that moves, you're going to have this flexed foot anyway, and your crow boot will be flexed as well. And that's to support you to press right into the wall as you come up, okay? Now, to get us started, we're going to tuck our tailbone under, exhale, and that's going to create a rounding sensation in the lower back. And then we're going to drop the tailbone down, lift the belly up, and roll the pubic bone forward. That's our inhale. So there's a little bit of space here underneath the back. And we'll repeat. Tuck under and release. Tuck under and release. Last time. Tuck under. Now, we're going to lift our hips up if we can. Now this is really important, this pose, because this helps stretch and open the quads, which can take quite a bit dealing with prosthetics and a crow boot. This is a lot of action, but if you can do it, give it a try. You can also, again, press your feet against a wall. That's going to help you be able to lift up even more. And then we try always to roll from the top of the body down to the tailbone. Now I want to show you an option with a yoga block, and this is another way to just build some strength without strain. You're going to put your yoga block at the lowest level, tuck under, and then bring your lower back right onto the yoga block. So now you're getting that protection for the yoga block. You're getting stretch in the quads, but you're not having to press on the prosthetic foot or the crow boot at all. Okay? And depending on where your hip flexors are, this may be very intense right here. You always lift up and go to the next level. You never go to the highest level because that's too high. Right, that's not good for your lower back. But this can also be a really nice variation. You can also use your blanket and go right underneath the lower back. And rather than go into a bridge here, like so, open the legs into bound angle. All right, and then you may need to have a yoga block and a pillow underneath your limbs. Okay, so I'm going to stay in this position. I'm going to move the pillow out of the way so you can see. And I'm just going to be releasing my hip flexors. What you don't want is so much release that your hips aren't used to. Okay, you want to have enough support that they can very gingerly and slowly and gently begin to release. Breathe in and breathe out. And then bring the legs together. And this requires you to have some strength. So if you can't lift up very well right now, you roll to your side and take your support from underneath you. Like so. We're going to draw the right leg in towards the chest. And you'll notice that I have my hands on my thigh, right? So if this were my prosthetic leg, this may be where I am. I could perhaps grab my shin. Depends on what the type of prosthetic I have, whether I'm above knee or below knee, the range of motion in my knee. And then release. And we're going to tuck under, and now we're going to go to the other side. Draw in. Like so. I'm holding the back of the thigh this time, you'll notice. But this is a little bit more of a 90-degree angle. And then release. We're going to go back to this. I'm just going to do a couple of little abdominal exercises. So stay with your knees bent. Again, feet compress into the wall. We're going to take the hands behind the head with the elbows wide. We need to press down into the lower body and the feet. Tuck under with the tail and bring the chin up. What we want to avoid is yanking on the neck. So the chin is a little bit more parallel. And we're going to dip over to the right 10 times, to the left, and then to the center. So it's 10 to the right, 10 to the left, and 10 to the center. Go slow and be consistent and use your breath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale center, exhale to the other side and twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back to center. Keep tucking your tailbone. 10 little crunches. Keep those elbows wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very, very slowly. Bring it down. And one more time. Bring the right leg in to the chest. This time circle it around. Circle both ways. And then the other leg comes up and in. Now, it could be that the leg is very, very heavy. You could take a strap behind your thigh and just bring the leg in. Or you can keep the leg on the floor and just put the strap around the thigh and let the leg rock from side to side. It feels too heavy. Okay. And release. Extend your legs. And so your crow boot, you may need to put a little folded blanket rolled up like so underneath your knees in your relaxation pose. So your legs extend out, but you don't want to have a big back bend here. You want to have it tuck under. So you may need to elevate even more. Okay. Now, if your head and neck are dipping way back, you want to take either the end of your yoga mat and roll it up underneath the back of your head, right at this occipital ridge here, or take a pillow, place it underneath the back of the head, and and just get comfortable. So you don't want your chin way up. So this pillow is too high. Just as an example. You relax your body. Let the hips roll out. And if you feel like the weight of the prosthesis or the crow boot is too heavy, take a yoga block or another folded blanket underneath that crow boot and or prosthetic. Maybe you do both. So there's no extra pull on that hip flexor, which is not helpful. You want to start to settle into your body, feel the effects of your yoga practice. And just gentle, gentle, gentle breath in and out. Settle your body. And then very slowly begin to move the fingers, the lower body, elbows and shoulders, muscles on the face, big stretch for your body. And then roll over to one side and very slowly come up. Now you may want to just keep your crow boot extended like so, and maybe your other leg needs support as well. If you're feeling a lot of lower back pull, you want to sit on the edge of the pillow, a yoga block, or a blanket. You still get the support that you need, but you're not straining that lower back. This is an option as well. Close your eyes and reconnect to your breath. And we're going to do what we started with. Check in with what's happening with your mind. Check in with your body. Check in with your emotions. And gather everything in. Coming back to center. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. Awareness or hands come to the heart in Anjali Mudra. Prayer Mudra. Mudra is a hand gesture, a yoga pose in your hands or your body. And we'll close with the sacred sound of Om. Breathing in. Hari Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti is peace, peace, peace.